There is no fear in love, but perfect or mature love casts out fear, because fear has torment. He that fears is not made perfect or not mature in love. And I wrote in red, 4:18, he's loved all the fear out of me. I picked that up reading that every day. He has loved all the fear out of me. And I've come to that place, I just don't have any fear. Well, and you'll like this. The Lord, Gloria and I went to our prayer cabin in Arkansas, and we got all of the children promises we could find. And we were there up there and just got our concordances and everything out in the middle of the bed. And while we were up there, and Kelly and John were just small, and while we were up there, the Lord spoke to us and said, don't ever jump out from behind a wall and go boo and frighten them and think it's funny. It is not. He said, my enemy is fear, and the spirit of fear is the devil. So we never did do that. He said, you teach them to be respectful and not afraid. So we did that. And I remember we were over at my dad's house, and this had just happened. So I took Kelly and John by the hand, and we walked downstairs where our car was parked. Yeah, I don't know if you remember this or not. Anyway, I said, now guys, now look at this. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah. I said, but look at the size of this thing. Now, you don't need to be afraid of cars, because one of these days you're going to want to drive, and then eventually you'll have your own. But you need to respect them. You don't say, sweetheart, now don't be playing out in the street. A car might run over you and kill you. No. So we just taught them in love. And we said, now, when you start to cross a street, you need to look both ways and be very, very careful before you walk across that street, because look at the size of that thing. It squash you like a bug. But cars are good. You don't need to be afraid of them, but you need to respect them. Well, I kept teaching like this, and John walked out. My dad's, there was a deck on top of their garage, and he walked out there on that deck. It was just about that same time. And there was a pigeon landed on the fence railing. John walked up there and said, bird, the world goes around and you may never see me again. Where on earth did you get that? And so then he was hanging out over that very railing.
Deep. That's very deep.
Deep. So he was hanging out over that railing, and I just said, and I got over there with him. I said, look down there. He said, yeah. I said, John, if you fall off that, it'd break your head open, wouldn't it? Yeah. I said, well, don't be hanging off there like that. Okay. No fear. Then later, when we had the Full Gospel Businessmen's Fellowship meeting in the Queen Mary, docked there in Long Beach.
Huge, yep.
And so, and as a speaker there, we had an upper suite, and they took us in there to show us the suite and all, and then they were bringing the luggage up. And Gloria and Kelly were looking all around, and I turned around. I thought, where's John? I turned around. That little rascal, the porthole was open, and he was about halfway out of it. So I walked up there and just hooked my finger in his belt loop and stuck my head out there. I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm just looking. And I said, look down. He looked down. I said, that's a long ways down there, isn't it? Yeah. I said, do you know how far? No. I said, it's about 90 feet. So, that's what, You're hanging halfway out the hole, boy. Now get back in here. Okay. You don't teach fear. And both of them are still that way. They respect things, but they don't walk around, oh, I'm afraid to do this, I'm afraid to do that. No. They were never taught fear as children, so they didn't grow up with it. Fear is instilled in children, but if you instill love in a child and teach them about fear, teach what it is and who is the spirit of fear, the devil himself, and he uses fear as a weapon.